Today's video will illustrate how an appraiser can use pivot charts in order to determine their sale price trends and even to develop their market conditions adjustment. Now, the area that you see highlighted on the map is the area that I am pulling my sales data from. Now, I've gone back 5 years in order to get the sales data, and as you can see, I have 1,613 sales to work with here. Now, I've actually already imported this sales data into Excel, and I have the status, the list ID, list date, pending date, sale price, list price, and seller concessions amount. Um, in order to determine your sale price trend, really the only two fields that you need are going to be the sale date and the sale price. However, I would encourage appraisers to include other major elements of comparison within their export. Those elements could be the GLA, the number of levels, whether there's a basement or not, year built, that sort of thing. And a little later on in the video, or I will illustrate why I think that's important and the reason why I encourage appraisers to do so. Now, in order to determine your sale prices using a pivot chart, it's really a very simple process. Make sure that your cursor is somewhere within the data set. And as long as the cursor is within the data set, we want to come up here to the top where it says Insert. And you can click on Insert, scroll over here to where it says Pivot Chart, click on the pivot chart, and you'll see that we have pivot chart and pivot chart analyze. Either one of them will work. So I'm just going to click on pivot chart, and a new window pops open, and as you can see here in the table range area, Excel has already highlighted that entire data set that I imported. It also is going to ask me, do you want this to be on a new worksheet or an existing worksheet? Now, I want it on a new worksheet, and so when this window pops open, it is already defaulted to exactly what I want. So I'm going to go ahead and click on OK, and you'll get a new sheet that opens with these open windows here, plus a pivot chart field section. And as you can see, we have status, list ID, list date, pending date, sale price, list price, seller concessions. Those were the things that I had already imported into Excel. And at this point, what I want to do is I want to left click on sale date, and I'm going to drag that over into the axis. I'm then going to left click on sale price and drag it into the value. Now you'll notice here on the value, it's asking me, or it's showing that it's the sum of the sale price. We don't want the sum of the sale price. And so I will click on that, and then you can click on value field settings. And once you do that, you'll get a new window that pops open, and we can change the sum to the average. Now, I know that there are a lot of appraisers out there who really want to use median instead of average. Well, if we scroll down, you'll see that Excel does not give us the option to do median. And so if you are going to use pivot charts in order to do your sale price trends, you will have to use the average sale prices. Now, if that's the case, what you want to do is you want to exclude your outliers, your high and your low outliers, before you import into Excel. By doing so, you're going to get better or more accurate data with the average, be closer to that median. And so we're just going to go ahead and hit OK here. And now our bar chart is showing the average annual sale prices over the last 5 years. Now, we really don't want to use annual data. As a matter of fact, I encourage all appraisers to really stop using annual data. And the reason why is because using the annual data can lead to a misinterpretation of what's going on in the market. This is especially true when you are in a rapidly changing market. And as an example here, think back to February of 2022 when interest rates started going up. Now, in the central Indiana market, we didn't really experience any slowdown until about October or November of 2022. And from that October, November of 2022 through about the summer of 2023, the central Indiana market really had a stabilization of prices, and we weren't really seeing any more increases at that point. However, if an appraiser were using the annual data, they would not have seen that in their results. And so, I highly encourage appraisers to not use the annual data. Um, and so what you'll see here though is Excel shows us annual data, right? And so what we want to do is we want to change that. And it's really simple to do so. Look down here in the bottom right hand corner and you'll see we have a plus and a minus sign. Now I'm going to click on that plus sign, and what it does is it opens us up into quarterly data. If I click on it again, we're now looking at monthly data. And the reason I went back 5 years was I do personally think that's going back too far when you're looking at monthly sale prices, but I wanted to illustrate how we can use these filters down here at the bottom. And so here on the years for sale date, I'll click on this one, and what I can do is I can get rid of everything prior to 2022. And we hit OK. And now what our bar chart is showing is the the average monthly sale prices since January 1st of 2022. Yeah, and we can filter that more. We can go ahead and just get rid of 2022. What has it done over the past, approximately year and a half? And at this point, what I want to do, I want to go ahead and clean up my chart a little bit. I want to get rid of the grid lines and the legend just to make this look a little better. And if you left click on one of the bar charts, and then right click. You can then click on Add Trend Line. And if I scroll down here, I'm going to go ahead and hit Display the Equation. And I know this is difficult to see, so let me bring it up here, and I'm going to make it a little bit larger. And I'll go ahead and bold that. And what you are now looking at is a bar chart which illustrates from January 1st of 2023 through August of 2024, the average monthly increase has gone up at $3,269. Now, you could possibly use that as your adjustment. And so, if you are appraising something from 6 months ago, you want to take 6 times 3269 in order to then get that adjustment. Now, earlier, I had noted that I would really encourage appraisers to add in other major elements of comparison when they do their export. So let me go into this expanded fields sheet, and I want to show you the reason why. If you guys look here, I now have subdivision, levels, basement, square footage for main and upper, and the year built. And now what I want to do is the same process. So I just want to make sure my cursor is in that data set. We click on Insert, we go to Pivot Chart, click on the Pivot Chart, go ahead and hit OK, that's our default. And again, I want to grab and drag the sale date to the axis. I'm going to grab and drag the sale price into the values. Again, it comes in as a sum, so we want to change the value field setting. We're going to change that to an average. We're going to hit OK. Now, I'm going to go ahead and turn these into monthly data, and I will get rid of everything prior to 2023. We hit OK. And again, I want to make this a little bigger so we can see it. Get rid of our grid lines, get rid of the legend. Now you'll notice that I did leave the chart title in. It does come up and says total. I do want to change that. I'm just going to change that to sale price trend. The reason I'm going ahead and leaving that in there is because if you're using this method in order to determine your trend conclusions, you can simply copy and paste this graph right into your report. And so having that chart title on there can be important. Now, again, I want to go ahead and left click on one of the bar charts and I will add the trend line. Scroll down, we're going to hit the display the equation. I'm going to drag that up here. We're going to make it a little bigger. We're going to bold it so we can see it. And again, it's the same thing. It's at 3,269 per month. Now, the reason why I've would encourage everybody to go ahead and include other major elements of comparison is because we're going to add in slicers at this point. And so I'm going to click on the chart and come up here to the top where it says Pivot Chart Analyze. Click on that and scroll over here to where it says Insert Slicer. And now I'm going to insert the slicer and I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to grab subdivision name, levels, basement, square footage, year built, and just hit OK. We now have 5 new windows that have popped open here. And let's move these over. Let's see if we can squeeze these things onto the same screen here. Now, the reason why I want these slicers in here is because now we're going to look at the data set from a market segmentation viewpoint. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the slicers in order to determine our market segmentation. And so I'm going to look for one level homes. You'll notice that we went from 3269 to 1326. I also want to look for one level homes with no basement. When we do that, again, our monthly increase changes. And then I only want to look for homes that were built in the 1990s. So I'm going to click on 1990 and then I'm going to hold the shift button down and click on 1999. That highlights all of them. And so what we're now looking at is a market segmentation of one level homes built in the 1990s with no basement located in those defined boundaries that I showed you earlier. And at this point, we're seeing that the adjustment is no longer that in the 3,000s. Now we have $2,275 per month. And so using these slicers, you can really kind of create that market segmentation and refine what that adjustment is going to be. And so I find these to be very helpful. Again, I would encourage you to use even more major elements of comparison. I was simply showing the one level, no basement built in the 90s as an example here. What we could also do, I'm going to clear all of these filters out, and you'll notice that I do have this subdivision name in here. Well, location, location, location. It's the number one rule in real estate. And so, what is going on in the subject's location? And so, we can just click on, if we're appraising a home in Austin Lakes, I'll just click on Austin Lakes. And now you're seeing that the values are going up. You can really start to analyze your data much better when you're using these slicers. Again, I would encourage you to have more elements of comparison than just the 5 that I've included here. If you need help with exporting data or setting up those custom exports, we have a couple of videos. If you're using Connect, we have a video on that. And if you're using Matrix, we have a video on that. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to help if I can. Otherwise, I really want to say thank you for sticking around for the last 14, 15 minutes here. If you like the video, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Bye.